Welcome. Are you all ready for this? All excited? Excited for some more Brandenburgs? Good. I thought I'd just fill you in on some stuff that maybe you haven't heard about these incredibly well-known pieces. Basically, this set was put together by Bach in 1721 because he was getting itchy feet at his previous job. And he had a young family, and he felt he needed a better bit of employment somewhere. And he'd met this Margrave of Brandenburg in Berlin in 1719. And this Margrave is sort of slightly lower than a count, just above a duke. Sort of minor royalty, if you like. And he kept an orchestra in Berlin, which is where he met Bach. And Bach thought that perhaps it would be a good idea to send him a CV. And this set, which he wrote out in a beautiful manuscript, he sent with all the accompanying blurb at the front and how he was your humble servant and I met you in Berlin and hope you can help me. Unfortunately, the Margrave was pretty stupid. Even though he professed to be interested in music, he received this wonderful volume of these concertos and simply put it in his library. And there they stayed. But like most job applications with a CV, you start off by flattering the person. At that time, you would flatter the person who you wanted a job from. And that's exactly what this first concerto does. It's the biggest and the richest orchestra combination for the Brandenburgs. So we have almost everything in the kitchen sink, almost. We have a full reed section here, 3 oboes, which is unusual. Usually you find 2 in Bach, but we have 3 oboes and bassoon. We have the marvelous horns here who lead the procession. And this is saying to, the horns particularly is saying to the Margrave, they were huge landowners, so one of their responsibilities was to look after the countryside and everything in it. And Bach is saying, you're such an amazing provider and looking after things so well. So he's really flattering with this stuff. And then we have the whole complement of strings. And it's not the usual string section in that you see in other orchestral pieces by Bach, just 2 violins, violas, and the bass. Actually, Eunice is theoretically playing a piccolo violin. Now, what is a piccolo violin? It's basically a smaller violin, and it was tuned originally a third higher, so it's quite bright. So you have this bright cherry on the top of the cake. And then underneath, you have Zach playing what Bach describes as the violone grosso, the biggest member of the violin family. So you have this incredible range of strings. Also, it's the only one of the concertos which has more than 3 movements. Usually the concertos are in 3 movements. So we have the normal 3 movements, and the horns feature splendidly in the first movement. And you can hear them whooping, can I say that word? Whooping, W-H-O-O-P, at the opening, sort of hunting calls. The second movement is a beautiful adagio where the solo oboe and solo violin wrap around each other in the most delicious way. The third movement, we get back to the countryside again. And then there are some extra movements. We have a minuet and trio, which is a very courtly dance, and that's sort of, again, showing the courtly side of the Margrave's activities. But after the minuet and trio, which is a very normal combination, we have some extra dances. We have a polonaise, which is not the one that you've probably heard on the piano from Chopin, but this is a more of a bagpipey polonaise, which the strings play. And then the most exciting one of the extra dances is a sort of chase in the countryside where the horns and the oboes are playing with each other. So that's Bach insinuating himself into the Margrave's company.